What is up, everyone? It is your boy Farai, and we're going to be starting a new series today called Free VST Day, pretty much a knockoff of Ave McCree's. He tests out a lot of free synthesizers and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, we're going to try and focus on getting a much more full sounding initial recording. So, making sure your vocals sound like they were pumped through a nice analog console. As you can see right now, we got the and pretty much I'm just going straight up. We'll start off with what we're going on the output. We just got a limiter set up just to get the right gain for YouTube, and other than that, we are just using our plugin, right? So this is the sound that this plugin is making. If I switch over to my digital style, so using FL plugins, you can hear the difference off top. This is a lot more kind of boring, a lot more neutral, which is fine. It gives someone else the leeway to manipulate your voice. But if you really want to get that dank sound off top, there you go, right? So we'll start off with this Tesla SE, which I downloaded. I'm doing all these downloads and I'll leave them in the description. You can find all of this stuff at KVR Audio in their free VST effects folder or section, as well as VST for free. And yeah, so pretty much as you can see with this plugin, the one plugin the thing I don't like about this plugin is, as you can see, my CPU spikes when the plugin is actually brought up front, because I think it is quite an old plugin, and a lot of the old plugins struggled with their GUIs, which is their graphics user interfaces, right? So as you can see, I'm cranking everything. I'm going to try and get rid of this plugin right now, but we got an input of 12, saturation full on, so no saturation, full saturation. That sounds pretty sick. Output we leave to nothing. Let's get rid of that, and our CPU won't spike anymore. So that's the one downside to that plugin. Other than that, great. So we'll go over to this Ruby tube, which I quite like, a bit softer than the last plugin. So we'll just try and compensate for that right now, and that's pretty much a relative level. Yeah, this sounds pretty cool as well. I'm using the shaper because the shaper creates loudness. So soft, hard. And the one thing about these older plugins is they do have really finicky kind of, you can't really tweak the knobs smooth as the newer stuff. So yeah, we're not using the limiter. The limiter we could use a lot softer, a lot harder. Sounds so sick. No homo. Okay, so yeah, that sounds pretty sick. We compare it again to the other one, and yeah, that's the older chain we used. This one really sounds a lot more kind of focused on the important stuff. You know what I mean? As you can hear, my voice is nice and shiny. Voice is kind of, I don't know, just sounding a bit weird, right? So there we go. That sounds pretty nice. Our third option would be, and before I get into the third option, I would really recommend maybe throwing this onto a secondary channel so you don't actually record what happens with that plugin. But we could always go for the approach of using a analog EQ type things. Here we go, pull up that, get rid of this, and this is 64-bit, so this is a lot more trustworthy. And we'll pull up the gain a little bit. But yeah, with this you can pretty much do your own thing with your voice, get some high end, get some nice classic low end. We got two types of emulations here. The most important thing is to drive the plugin pretty hard. So you're popping up on the VU meter right there. We can crank that a bit, and we can reduce this so we get a lot of the sound of the plugin but not too much volume, right? So yeah, that's pretty much the third option. Obviously we're using the mid mode, so the left and right channels are summed, so they do both the same thing. And yeah, over here we can go for we can go for this third option right here, which I quite like, which is using either one of these preamp plugins with this really cool little back sandal type EQ, really soft EQ, really nice. So we'll use this and we'll turn this on, and this is really just to create a type of soundscape for your vocal, right? So what I'm doing is I'm reducing a lot of the output gain, but then we get the input gain from our chosen bands, right? So I want a lot more mid, I want a lot more high end, get you that brittle sound, reduce some of the low end, right? And that gives you that like rap type sound. So we'll just use this beat here that I've made, and we'll just see what it sounds like. Yeah, mic check, test 1 2. on the mic. Yeah, 1, 2, and there we go. You know what I mean? It's as easy as that to get a good starting point with your recordings. Obviously, this isn't like the end result. I mean, we could turn off that and then go through. This is the NBA Youngboy type recording template. This will sound a lot more trebly and brittle. Obviously, we need to tweak all of these types of things, but kind of just going in there. That's pretty hectic sounding right there. So let's turn down some of the output gain. And yeah, let's try it out. Yeah, mic check, test 2, 1, 2. I'm on the mic, man, with the preamps, and they sounding cool. Yeah, sounding cool. This one's sounding better. Auto tune, yeah, heavy metal. Yeah, on the track, yeah, I do this. Man, the sounds so fluid. Yeah, so we put in some reverb delay, and yeah, we got a pretty cool little, you know, thing going on right there. So yeah, so that's what it sounds like with me talking over the beat, right? And yeah, we got the beat obviously dropped in this scenario. We'll turn the beat up and get it moving. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And that is the start to our series. I quite like this. Sounds pretty trebly, it's pretty heavy. Turn that down a bit. And yeah, like and subscribe. Purchase link for this template is in the description. Link to all the free VSTs in the description. I will give away this channel preamp or all these presets inside this channel. You're free to use all of these and make great recordings. It's your boy Farai. Like and subscribe. Peace out. Shabba.